Good evening, everyone.
Oh, okay. The Giants play too.
Gentlemen, please put your devices on mute, please. If you're not on mute, please put it on mute. We will be starting in exactly 2 minutes. Good evening, everyone. I welcome everybody. It's Board 42 members and our guests that are here. My name is Bernard Bowen. I'm the incoming Vice President for IAABO Board 42, Educational Committee. First thing I'd like to We want to show courtesy and respect to everyone. Would you please put your phone on mute and leave it on mute? I'd appreciate it. Thank you. We are all here this evening, and I thank you all for joining us. Those who've been following us over the summer and the past year, this is the first one that we're doing coming back. We have a lot of our Board 42 members here. We are the Educational Committee for the Board 42. As I stated, I am now the current incoming Vice President for IAABO Board 42. President of IAABO Board 42, Mike Howard, may be joining us shortly if he's not on yet. If he is, Mike, would you say a few words? Okay. When he joins us, he'll get in. Victor Fleming is our Secretary Treasurer, will not be joining us this evening. Just would like to tell everyone, Victor's done a great job and pulling a lot of things together. And as we could honestly sit here and say, we are in good standings, dues and all expenditures are all up to date. He will be collecting dues for 2021-2022 season in October. Payments can be mailed to the PO box. We do have a PO box now for Board 42. The IAABO rule books are here. They will be given out on September 25th at Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club up at 550 Balcom Avenue in the Bronx. That will also be another feature that IAABO Board 42 now has. We have a website. And the website is, and we'll keep mentioning it, is board42.com. Additional to that pickup date, all that information will be on the website, www.board42.com. Please log that down. The refresher exam will also be with your rule book when they be giving them out. Just take a note, if you got a pen in your hand for IAABO board members from Board 42, we will have our first meeting on September 27th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. We will have in as our guest speakers with an update from PSAL, Danny Harris. We will have the Catholic Schools update from Kevin Pickett. We will also have Leroy Hendricks, the assigner for PSAL Bronx Manhattan. All of them will be on. I just noticed that Mike, you just jumped in. Would you like to say a few words? Mike Howard?
Bernard, currently having a little problem with my audio.
Okay. All right, we'll keep going. Because I'm trying to keep this into 1 hour. This evening is the first one, and I'm trying to give an update and give us all something to come back to have some feedback and things like that. Okay. The other person I would like to mention behind the scene is Ralph Finolas, who is now a dual member here at Board 42. And he's going to be the engineer behind the scene. And again, protocol and professionalism and courtesy, we're asking everyone to carry out every time we come on Zoom. Please turn your radios off, anything in the background to help us so that when someone is speaking, please. That's my point. We need everyone to please be on point for a second so that this way it doesn't have any feedback and disturbance from anyone. So I know no one does it intentionally, but it does disrupt the class or the Zoom session as we're trying to do. So please, everyone do that. Ralph, we appreciate what you're doing in the background to keep this floating and moving forward. At this time, I also want to take a special thanks to the previous board over the past 2 years that really has done a lot of work behind the scene that transitioned us into management. Matt Banks, I would appreciate if you turn it off. Thank you. I'd like to say thank you to Cedric Dew and also Nathan White for doing a yeoman's job in the past 2 years. So thank you very much to both of them. The other piece that I want to bring up, as we're all here, we're coming back. A lot of folks are starting to get back into officiating, but first and foremost, we had a great summer. A lot of basketball opened up. A lot of folks got an opportunity to start officiating again. A lot of folks went to camps. I am proud to say that a number of our Board 42 members have went from a high school that has not been into a college ranks yet, or just got accepted into college conferences. So we have about 5 or 6 of them. I don't have to go through their names, but we'll probably post them eventually so that everybody should be proud of them as Board 42 members. I am very proud of them, and they have reached out to me to let me know what they have been doing and what conferences got picked up by. So thank you for that. If you haven't had a health check, I'm telling everyone now, regardless of your Board 42 or coming back, like Brian is coming to hang out with us and things like that, I want everybody to start thinking about their health. If you haven't been vaccinated, I think you should. I did. I'm not telling you what to do, but at the end of the day, if you will not probably be allowed to go into some gymnasiums if you're not vaccinated. So that's something that you have to make that call. It's very important to go out there and get a health check, know where you are, get vaccinated, get the information. And once you get it registered, make a copy, keep it in on your phone, and to make sure that you have it so you can show it if somebody's asking for it. We don't want to take games away from you because you're not vaccinated. So go ahead and please do that. If you don't have a mentor, look for one. If you are someone who's been in the game for a long period of time, my suggestion is that you start to mentor. We at Board 42 will be requesting that. If you're interested in helping some of the younger officials, which I think would be great, we're asking you to step up to the plate. That will be on the website. That will be spoken upon at our local board meetings. If you're not on this board, my recommendation, find a mentor local. This way you can have someone to compare notes. You don't want a mentor that's going to be someone that's just going to yes you to death, but they want to push you. They want to help guide your tour and be receptive to information and feedback that's coming. Are we all on the same page so far that we're all getting this information? It's the first one that we're doing. And then I'll go into what our plans to doing these more often. One thing I think it's also very important is that you start to contact your assigners. Any assigners, we know last year hard. It was hard because we didn't know what was going on. We had a situation where there was no basketball, and then all of a sudden the springtime came and there was basketball in the New York area, and it just opened up all over. But one thing I think is very important, whoever has been your assigners, reach out to them. If it's on the high school side, reach out to your high school assigner. Doesn't mean that you got to blow up their phone. It means just send a text, send an email, let them know that you're here, you're available, and just to find out what they may be assigning or what they're not assigning. You know, we just found out, which I'm going to wait to hear a little bit more about it. Not sure about the Sullivan games yet, but we want to make sure that we get all that information from Danny Harris. So we're going to wait to confirm all that information when he speaks to us. Your assigners are not just the high school side. The goal for me and the position that I feel like I put myself into, and with your help and your guidance, even for those who are not in Board 42, is that there's a lot of recreational basketball that's out there that we can all officiate. So my goal is to make sure that if you're not doing PSAL, that we have the venues to go out and officiate. But when you're going out to officiate, gentlemen and ladies, do me a favor. It's a job. You're an independent contractor. It's a business. Handle yourself in a professional way. Be on time. Be prepared to work. Be prepared to get feedback. And if we do all of those things, we have more venues and more games, and more people will be coming to us, because high school season really starts mid-November and ends first week of February, pretty much. Okay, so you are a board member that pays your dues for a year of basketball. Mike, I, and Vic have spoken, and the goal is to make sure that we venture out to making sure that everyone in this board has opportunities to referee basketball. So it's not just the high school world that we're trying to reach. We want to reach everyone that's in the board, because we want to make sure that everybody is utilizing the dues that you pay, and utilizing the ability to become a better official, so that when the referee side for camps to elevate you, that you can go to these different camps because you had enough time to blow your whistle throughout the whole year. If you're already working rec ball and you're doing ball at different places, sometimes we have to get to that next level, and the next level is all about a 3-person rotation. Sometimes we may want to take a step back and forget about dollars and cents and get 3 people there to do 3 games. And if you get 3 people there to work on your 3-person rotation and everybody get paid for 2 games, I believe personally, it's a win-win, because you're building your character as a 3-person, and you're going to be introduced to something as you get ready to go up the ladder. If you're already up the ladder, great and good for you. Then you should become a mentor to some of our newer officials. We're trying to build our new officials to have some type of, foundation. We're looking for all the veteran officials that are in Board 42, especially, to step up to the plate. Let's start to support one another. Let's start to build on what we have got a lot of foundation with, and go to the next level. So those are some of the goals that we're looking for. Those are some of the goals that I'm expecting that everybody in the organization, if you got something to say, please call me, text me, email me. But the goal is for us to become the best IAABO board that we can be. And we can't do it by ourselves or individuals. If we are an organization that's year-round, and we have enough basketball year-round, then that means that everybody on this board should have an opportunity to learn to network, learn to share the games, learn to become better officials, and then we should be able to move up and get the opportunities, because there's a lot of assigners looking for referees in the Northeast to come out and branch. The reason why is because we have a lot of venues over the New York City area, in the tri-state area. There is a lot of good basketball, above the rim basketball, that makes us better officials. Not better than anyone else, but we see a lot of ball. And I am trying to tell every one of you that if we can start working together and work as a unit, as an organization, we're going to be a good organization moving forward. Okay. At this time, we also want to bring up something that I think it's very important that everybody should really, if they got time to do it, I was going to save it till later, but they are actually getting ready to do a street naming this Saturday on 43rd Street for Nate Tiny Archibald at 12 o'clock, right there by Patterson Projects. If you're not doing anything, please come out and show support. He came on to one of our sessions earlier this year and shared his knowledge, his growth in New York City basketball as a player, what he has given back to the community and continues and want to do for the community. So I am asking everyone who has the availability that's on, if you're in the local area, please come out and join. Sit down, say hello, stand up, say hello, whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, we need to show support. Mike will probably speak a little bit more about that when he's able to, if he can, because he's actually in the vehicle. Another thing that I want to bring up so that we're all on the same page is basketball season is starting, as we all know, and there's a lot of conversations that we need to understand as officials. The negative conversations about each other or pointing fingers at each other, stop. Motivate, positive reinforcement, positive feedback. If we start to do that more as referees, when you see a referee that does something that you think you can help elevate that referee, please be receptive, as long as you're also professional about communicating. Some of us think we know it all, and we don't. I know I don't. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is that we're all here to become good officials. And I want to know that everybody here took the extra step to help the next one get to the next level. Some of us are on the down end of our referee career, but there's a lot of games that you have done that you can help somebody else to get to a faster pace. So we need to work on how we deliver a message to younger officials. Younger officials need to understand how to accept a message. And those are the things that we're going to do, slowly but surely build the character of the things that's actually going on in the referee community, because that's how we're going to become better officials, better partners, better teammates. Understanding what a pregame is. A pregame is not just before the game starts. It's knowing that who your partner is, knowing that you guys or ladies get there at the same time, knowing that you're on the same page, and when you're living that game, you left on the same page, and you do a post game for yourself. And if you communicate with your partner, then that means that's part of who you are going forward to your next game. I would love to make sure that a lot of officials, if you're doing it, great. If you're not doing it, this is something that I think it's important for us to start to do. Get a notebook. Start to write down what happens in a game that was good, something that you think you can do better, and get in the habit of making sure that when your game is over, if you even text or email your assigner to let them know if there's something that goes on in that game or didn't go on in that game, to let them know it was a good game, or let her know it was a good game. Because the more that you do that, the more comfort that your assigner knows that when they put you on a game, you're going to be thorough. Just because the whistle and the clock goes off, the game is not over. The one thing you don't want to hear is your assigner call you and ask you what happened in a game because the commissioner of that league called the assigner. Prevention officiating is a good way of becoming a good official. So if you know something, you can speak on it. Start to take that notebook and write your summaries of your games, incidents that happen, coaches that happen, something that happened with a coach. If a coach tells you something and it's out of order, there's nothing wrong with letting the assigner know that. Okay, we're trying to grow officials in the mentality of professionalism and how do we get to the next level. We want to be prepared. I am so proud of about 5 or 6 of the gentlemen that are your fellow officials under 5 years, all going into Division JUCO and Division III college ranks. One made a Division II. And that's because they started to work together and they're taking it as a job. You're an independent contractor. The way that you get work as an independent contractor is being on time, being ready for the part, and being professional. And then most of all, knowing your rules. If you know your rules, you talk to your rules, and that's how you go to the next level. Those are some of the ways you get to the next level. At this time, we have someone else that's on that I'd like to see if he's available to say a couple of words to us, just to say hello. Is Victor Fleming here? Is Al Batista still on?
Yes, Bernard.
Hey, Al, I would just like for you to say a few words. We have a lot of guests on, and we do have some guests from a majority of IAABO Board 42. Al Batista, please introduce yourself. He's going to be helping us throughout the season, and his wealth of information. Can you tell me some of the things that you saw over the summer and what you got out of some of the camps? And as you know, and I know, a lot of our Board 42 was representing at a lot of the camps that you were at.
Yeah, real quickly, Bernard, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Real quickly, just one of the things I observed at camps this summer is basically the lead position. The way the game's played today, it's a game of 3-point shots, drives to the baskets, and free throws. And in the lead position, most referees that I see have trouble working the lead. And when you work the lead, you have to referee defender to defender. So once A1 beats B1, you got to go to B2 or B3 as quick as possible. And that's refereeing defender to defender. And you got to learn how to lift your eyes. Most officials that I see, they just follow the offense and then they go to the defense. It's too late. So once A1 beats B1, then you go to B2, B3. You got to learn how to lift your eyes and referee defender to defender. And basically what you're doing there is you're refereeing 70% defense and 30% offense. And the other thing too is just learning how to sequence. And I did a clinic the other day for Sean Hall, just learning how to sequence. And one thing that I see when someone catches the ball in the perimeter or in the corner, is, you switch it around on a catch, you go 70% offense and 30% defense, and you go feet, pivot, release, and then go to the defense. What I see most referees doing is they just watch the offense just way too much. And if you watch the offense, everything's going to surprise you. And the last thing is dead ball officiating is, anytime you call a traveling or double dribble or an out of bounds, don't turn your back. Keep your eyes on all the players, whatever level you're working. So work on your dead ball officiating. All right.
Thank you, sir. We look forward to hearing more from you throughout this year and then going forward as well. I have someone else on that he probably don't know. I'm going to call him, but and he's one of ours, and he grew up all through Saboa and IAABO and Board 42 here in the Bronx, Manhattan. Sean Campbell, are you around? Sean Campbell?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, how are
Sean
you?
Campbell is one of our proud Division I officials, and we've always welcomed him to have his feedback to motivate our younger officials who can get to that next level. And Sean, I'd like for you to share a little bit of some of your thought process and what you've been doing over the summer and to get you prepared for your upcoming season. Can you do that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So just want to say good evening and welcome to all the members and even non-members. This seems to be like a good time for, I'd say, officials, not just on the high school ranks, but also the college ranks, as we get ready or prepare or even look forward to some sense of a more normal season, fingers crossed, this year. And so just to sort of get excited and get the juices flowing, it's important to get back into the book. I typically make it a point to take 2 weeks in like mid-August to detach, and then come September, it's really full-on preseason for me, really reading the mechanics book. I read the full rules book. I will also read the case book. I will watch old film. If you have film of yourself, not everyone does, try to get in the habit of watching film of yourself, try to identify things that you can work on. You want to get familiar with new rules, points of emphasis as well, right? So that becomes sort of the preparation in September, and this will continue straight on until the season actually starts for myself. So that's what it looks like for me. Hopefully that's what it looks like for most other officials as well.
Sean, as I always say, thank you. We love you, and we appreciate what you bring back to the board and to all new officials and officials all around. Because I know you have a lot of officials, especially Alondale Hartfield, that looks up to you big time. And we appreciate you, so thank you. I think Mike has pulled over. Before we go around a little bit, I'm definitely going to keep to our target time to be like 8:55 for this meeting. But Mike Howard, our president for Board 42, is on now. Mike, can you say a few words?
Okay, thank you. Good evening, all, and welcome back. What we hope to be a active and healthy basketball season. I have to start out by saying, this COVID situation, COVID-19, continues to be a major area concern, health concern for all of us. There are people who have been vaccinated who most recently have been testing positive with this new Delta strain. It's very important that you mask up and speak with medical personnel if you have not been vaccinated already. The PSAL had made it mandatory for high school players and coaches to be vaccinated to participate. When presented with the question, does referees have to be vaccinated? They haven't come up with an answer yet. Believe me, it's coming down the pipe. No reason why you're going to mandate players and coaches and not referees. So it's coming down the pipe, and it's just a health concern for you and your family and your loved ones. So it's very important that as you build this foundation, you're ready to get back in shape, you're ready to get back into the book. take care of your health issues and your health concerns, because you can't do it if you're not healthy. PSAL and Catholic High School will be on next week, I think on the 27th. That is Kevin Piggott and Danny Harris. They'll talk a little bit about the upcoming season so you can hear it straight from the horse's mouth, exactly what they're going to do it. In terms of the Sullivan games, I got a verbal from Danny Harris that there will not be a Sullivan game prior to the season, but maybe at the end of the season. But I would just hold off on that until we hear from them straight from the horse's mouth next week. I just like to say, just be healthy out there. Take care of your health concerns as you prepare for this upcoming season, because there's still a lot of unknown questions about this COVID-19, and it will have a direct impact on this basketball season. Thanks very much for your time, guys.
Appreciate you, Mike, and thank you. We do have a couple of veteran officials, and I'd like to get some feedback on what did they do over the summer to work on their craft. And then I'll talk a little bit about something that's coming up that we're going to be trying to, once I get the feedback, I'm going to ask for all the officials. I'll probably speak to Leroy as well, but there may be a venue of a showcase coming up that it may not be a Sullivan game, but we will be asking for some of the Bronx Manhattan varsity officials to be working a showcase event that may be coming up by Adidas. So I will be reaching out, or you can reach out to me, or any of the varsity officials who worked last year. Reach out to me, put it that way, if you may be interested. That should be coming up within the next 2 weeks. So please reach out to me at bbowen825@aol.com. My number is 917-282-1936. Okay. Alex Jones, putting you on the spot. You're a veteran in this board. We're looking for your support. Are you available to say hello to the board?
Yes, good evening, everyone. How you guys doing today?
We're
Can
good.
you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well.
As always, you guys put on a great show, and looking forward to this season, whatever details. And, one of the things that Bernard mentioned is about mentoring, younger officials that have been in the game for a little while, some officials that have been in the game for a while. It's very important that we share information, and the information that we share, the person that you're sharing it with needs to be able to understand it. So therefore, that means that when you breaking it down, you have to talk in basketball terminology to that person. The same way you should talk basketball terminology to a coach if he's asking you a question, not making a comment. You got to think about those things when you're actually trying to give information to your fellow officials. And you can't come off as someone who knows it all, because you don't. And as they say, a child shall lead us. That's the same way. You can learn something from a young official as well. Maybe you forgot that you should be running down and looking over your shoulder. But because that person's a young official, he's doing what he should be doing, but you let it go by the wayside. So things like that is what you need to keep in mind of, and just watch it. And what you do next for.
You never know who's watching you. So when you say you never know who's watching you, does not mean only when you are on the basketball court. It's when you go out to dinner, if you're at a local bar, if you could be inside the subway. And if you're an official, just remember, you are representing your business. You are running your own business. And as you are running your own business, the way you get more work is by doing work in a professional, proper manner. And if you handle yourself in that way, more work will come to you. So never know who's watching you. I had an official that I had a conversation with, just made college. 2 of them actually. And I said to them, they didn't know that I saw it, but it was on social media. If you're climbing this ladder, be careful of social media and your presence. Not only on the court. It's important for you to recognize that if you're trying to climb this ladder, you don't give opportunities for somebody not to give you an opportunity. So with that being said, I'm going to take it to any questions before I ask another person to speak. The goal is for us to share knowledge and share experience. Dennis West, are you on?
I'm here.
Okay. How you doing, sir?
Can't complain.
You're another veteran official. Would you like to give the board and some of our guests some feedback of some of the things that you did over the summer and what's going to make you a better official? And I know you want to be a mentor. So what can you do to help us, and who can you get to mentor that you would like as younger officials?
Over the summer, I really didn't do much. I assigned West 4th Street basketball, so I watched a lot of games at West 4th Street. I used some younger officials, some of the guys that's up and coming, to work the high school division, and seen a few guys that are up and coming. I spoke with them over the phone after their games, and we went over plays, we went over situations, scenarios. I want to say professionalism is a big key in this business. You can't come to a game dressed in work clothes unless you go to work with a shirt and tie on. I mean, you want to come to a game presentable. Okay, you want to be there half an hour, depends on what venue you're working, half an hour, 45 minutes. College officials have to be to games maybe an hour, hour and a half ahead of time. Guys see you show up, dressed appropriately, carry yourself appropriately. That means a lot to the assigners, that they can depend on you, that you're on time, that you're definitely look in a professional manner. Your uniform is pressed, your pants are not wrinkled up, your shoes are shined. Those things mean a lot to coaches, to players, because if you come to a game and you look like you just rolled out of bed, there goes your respect factor out the window. So with those things being said, working on your craft, knowing your rules, reading your book, your manuals, especially the playbook, because you sometimes never get to see certain plays, but if you do see it, you got to know how to handle it or to adjudicate it. Is that a basketball term, adjudicate it?
Yes.
Okay. But I just want to encourage the young guys to continue to work at this, not just because you're making a few dollars in it. I want you to aspire to become a better official. My goal was to become a college official, and I'm still working on being a better college official. So with that being said, I thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak to everyone, and everyone have a great season.
Awesome. Thank you so much. James Alexandria, are you on? Okay. We have another.
Sorry, I had to unmute. Yes, I'm here.
Okay. James is a young, new official to our organization, Board 42. He's been around the referee community a little bit. Got to meet him. He did a floor exam. And he's an awesome new official to Board 42 that I think is going to help us. So I wanted everybody to see him and let him say a few words and what he's looking for from us and what will he's looking to give us. James, would you go ahead?
Thank you, Bernard. I really appreciate those words. Hello, everybody. I am 32 years old. I learned officiating at the University of Connecticut through intramural program, where I joined IAABO my junior and senior year at Board 8 in Connecticut. Shortly after that, when I moved back home to New York, I was not able to continue my IAABO career. So it's been roughly about 10 years since I've put the stripes back on. I thank you, Bernard and Victor, for bringing me back along. Just dusting off the cobwebs right now. From what I looked at games from you guys, I really am trying to work on brushing up on my mechanics, really getting back to the feel of the game, understanding the tempo of everything, and how to handle the high intensity situations that have been so far away from the last 10 years. From what I want to bring to the table, I just want to bring some youthful energy, really an aspiration to just climb the ladder along with you guys.
I appreciate you and thank you. We look forward to working with you and making you reach some of those goals that you want. And that's what our goal is. We have another veteran official. We've seen him all over the basketball community this summer. Mr. Darryl Perry, are you available to say a few words, give some encouragement, some new officials, and maybe some goals of what you think they should be looking forward to doing? Are you available? Okay. Well, Ron Eady is actually assistant. Darryl, you available?
Yes, I'm available to speak. Thank you very much. It's been some great things said, and I appreciate you inviting me to speak. With the upcoming season, I think getting into the rule book and something that Sean says, at this time, this late in the year, and the way basketball is now, everyone should have tape of themselves. And you should go over the tape or have a mentor go over the tape with you and not just look at the plays that you got right, but plays that you think you got wrong. And as you referee the game, it's good to catalog your plays. 742, I had a travel. Let me take a look at that play. It's things like that that you have to do to get better. When you talk about moving up, don't think about going to a camp to get picked up. Think about getting better, being a better play caller, being a better partner, being a better person. And you really have to be careful because each supervisor is different. Some supervisors may want you to call them, they may want you to text them, and some others may not want you to. So it's good to find out what's going on. Ask a veteran official, what is this guy like? What does he like? They can help you and prepare you for camp in the upcoming season. It's also important, and Bernard mentioned that I was all over the place. Sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. It seems like every game that I did was on social media. So that has its ups and downs. But and I think one thing that always helps me, and Dennis mentioned that, as a newer official, as a younger official, I would go to games. I would watch other officials work, not to critique them, but I would want to know, what does this official have that he has that game? Not to criticize, not to be critical of him, but to see the good that I could take from this official to make me better, to put in my toolbox. And if you have a strange play, you should call another official and talk about it. Not to be critical, but just to pick each other's brains. Also, you mentioned 2-person and 3-person mechanics. I think when you ref a 2-person game, sometimes you could ref it with a 3-person mentality. Work the trail like the center official. There's little things that you can learn. Al mentioned something that's really, really powerful, which you have to do. He might have said it in a different way, but especially on a catch, on a pivot, you have to referee from the floor up. When a person catches the ball, you have to referee from the floor up. So you see the pivot, you see the catch. Well, I don't want to basketball you to death, but thanks for the opportunity. You guys have a fantastic season and a great, 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 great life. Thanks again.
Hey, Daryl, thank you so much for your feedback and a lot of, experience. And like he said, that social media will follow you quicker than what you could follow yourself. And Daryl's been around the referee community with a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience. If you want to, call him, he'll be the first one to give you information to help you to go through a situation for yourself. Soft-spoken, but very big on that whistle when the time comes. We have another young man that I would love to say a few words, but before I go there, is Kim Blair still on? Kim, are you there? Okay. Zach, did you leave? Zach Murphy? Okay. Zach may have left, but there's another person that's not our board member, and I know she's available. Sylvia, you're available?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I am good, and I want some of your energy, young lady, because I know you know how to bring it, because you're going to be one of our guest speakers when this series coming. And
Outstanding. Thank you for that.
Sylvia is dynamic. Sylvia and I met a year ago, and I've been on her show and been a guest in helping her and critiquing a lot of the officials. She runs a big organizations in the camps, and she critiques a lot of officials out in the Houston area. Andrew got a chance to sit in on one of her sessions. One of our board members is along with myself. But Sylvia, please say hello. Give us a little bit of things that you did, little about what you did over the summer and critiquing some of your new officials and some of the things that we can probably use to become better officials in our local board.
Well, the biggest thing is what you're doing right now. If you're online right now on this call, you have to stay connected. That's the biggest thing we've been doing lately is staying connected. From the summertime, all the opportunities you have to learn and to meet people in the basketball community, they all will support you in your growth. Everybody that Bernard knows, everybody, literally everybody that Bernard knows and has in contact and his influence has been supportive for referees' growth. And that's the biggest thing that you want to do is stay connected. Of course, find a mentor, somebody to help guide you as you do what you do, so you do it correctly. Unfortunately, I had to work today. I just getting out, driving, getting us at the car right now. The biggest thing is that staying connected and doing the things and finding a mentor that will support you in what you're trying to do. I don't know exactly everything. Al was on earlier when he covered, which I know had to be a lot of good nuggets. But as we go through the season, you find somebody that's going to help support you in what you're trying to do, and they know or have been there. And these classes right here are awesome. If they record them, they have recordings. Go back and watch them over and over. Take notes and just stay engaged. The best thing I tell my people, always stay connected. That way, opportunities come, and you're there. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and we'll look forward to a session. You and I will talk, and we will put a session together for you to take us through some of the things that you did and the diagrams that you put together. So I'm looking forward to talking to you, Sil.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I wasn't going to say it, but I'm going to say it now anyway, because I'm proud of this young man. Londell Hartfield, please get ready to open up. Tell us a little bit about your journey and the horse that you're on and some of the things that you've done over the summer. And I'm proud of you and congratulations. So go ahead. Londell, open up.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Just wanted to say, so these Zooms are always very important and I'm appreciative of them. They keep me connected, like everybody's been saying all night. If you don't understand the value of them, I think you're missing out because, we had an opportunity to stay and engage with each other throughout the whole year last year without having to even leave our house. And that was very important for me, you know, in my journey, even getting ready for camps this past summer, and even, you know, staying locked in and keeping that hunger alive when you couldn't do anything else but sit in your house. Fast forwarding to what we said about camps and stuff like that, I had to gear up and ready up for camps with some of my other younger colleagues, officials. And we just went out to a lot of these different tryouts, and even Bernard's local camps, you know, that weren't tryouts, that they just, you know, go handle business like we're supposed to. I mean, I think that, you know, everybody's mentioning mentors tonight. I think mentors are absolutely vital and important. I wasn't told to have a mentor early on, and I quickly learned you're behind if you already don't have one. So that's how important it is. And as a lot of you do know, Sean Campbell that spoke tonight is one of my mentors. He's not the only one. And that was for me. I gravitated towards him. He gravitated towards me. It was organic. I didn't ask him, begging him. And I'm not saying that you can't beg somebody if you really, really choose to be behind that person. You got to understand in choosing a mentor that some people just don't have the time that you want them to have. So you got to get somebody that works for you, almost the same way you work for some of these mentors. I mean, some of these assigners. You have to get somebody that is willing to work with you, so you can get out of it what you need to get out of it, and they can do the same. Everybody is using everybody, even in a positive manner. And like I said, as far as camps go, the hiring camps are going to be a meat grinder. I've gone to over several years. I am proud and you know, happy to finally be among the college ranks. Looking forward to my season coming up. I know it's been a whirlwind summer. I've been traveling all over the place, kind of like Darryl Perry. I think every time I left the venue, he was either coming in or I was, you know, coming in and he was already working. So we were like chasing each other all summer. But you know, he's another person, even though he's not my initial mentor, I lean on because he's my rules guy sometimes. So again, you can get information from anywhere. You just have to be willing to listen to it, take that information, and understand what you need from it. Some people can't take the way some people talk to people, and that doesn't mean they're not giving good information. You just might not be receptive to the way they give it. Other than that, everybody just try to stay healthy, get prepared for the season. If you're not vaccinated, I think you're also behind. It doesn't mean, like I said, I'm telling everybody to get vaccinated, but the way it's looking from the highest ranks on down is if you don't have that card or you don't have that vaccination, you probably won't be working. For as much as you love the game, and don't cheat yourself. That's all I got, Bernard.
I appreciate you. Congratulations. And I'm proud of you. Yes, sir. We do run a class on Saturdays for all new coming IAABO Board 42 for the local board here in New York. Ron Eady is actually taking the lead with that at the moment. And we also have another young official who I'm very much proud of, who has stepped up and helped out. And Mr. Mario Christian has helped out. And just to have a young mind of someone who just came out of the class to be astute to the book is so important of understanding why the rule book is available. Ron, would you like to say a few words? Okay. Mario, would you like to say hello, and how did you like the first class we actually did? I know you did it already, and you jumped in and listened to some of the new officials so you can see where you came from and how it has helped you. And as you came to a camp and never did a 3-person, what did you get out of that camp the first time you saw it and you were doing a 3-person? Tell us a little bit about that experience. You're smiling.
Yeah, sure. Good evening, everyone. Bernard said, my name is Mario Christian. I just went through the class recently this past summer. And prior to actually finishing the class, I got exposed to a 3-person officiating. I was there to observe first day, and the next thing you know, I was on the floor. So that was a great experience. I believe I got to see Londell work. I believe you were there, right?
Yes.
I think he was there that weekend. Yeah.
Yes.
So I got to see some good official work. I got to write notes down, take some tidbits. I was fortunate enough to get some guidance from Sean Campbell as well. And so I was there to soak up a lot of things like a sponge, which I did. Thankful to Bernard and Victor for getting me involved with the new class that's now going with the new individuals that's now going through the present class. So that also helps me because it helps me keep my head buried in the rule books and the case books and in the mechanics. So that's, I get to help them, but I'm also benefiting from that as well by, making sure I'm still connected with all the rules and going through all that stuff again. So that's great. I think the experience is going to be great for both of us. Again, I'm just fortunate to be around so many knowledgeable folks who's not only knowledgeable, but actually willing to take the time and share that knowledge with you. And so, all you got to do is be there, be present, and let them know that you want to learn. And oh my goodness, you get a wealth of information, and you just learn a lot just from being in places and hearing conversations.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for stepping up to the plate to be a leader. I know there's a lot more in the organization, and we'll be reaching out for you. For all of you who want to, please reach out to me if that's something that's of interest to you as a mentor to, some of the newer officials. Like I said, also, we have another official that I'm very proud of as well. Played at St. Raymond's, played at Marist, moved out to Jersey, Division I official now in a few conferences, Board 42 member. He's awesome. It's Danny Basil. He'll probably come on and speak to us as well. And what I would like to do is have some of the officials that's been in the organization reach out to me. So when we do these things, we can have you speak, because the more that you communicate to your other officials, it just opens up that communication line, because sometimes officials that have been around the game a long time, so all they want to talk to you about their experiences. And the only way that Jay will talk to you sometime is if you say hello to them too. Because if they come over to you, they don't know how you may be receptive. You should not be intimidated of speaking to any of them. So that's something that I want to close with that. Also, dollars and cents. And Darryl brought up something that was very important. We start out, as we all know, if you don't know, I am involved with a lot of recreational basketball. And yes, I am looking for officials to come give me a call to get them some opportunities to work. I am not looking for people who's going to be late. I'm not looking for people to take advantage of an opportunity, but I'm looking for you to actually say if you're interested in officiating, and if you're not getting a high school schedule because of your work schedule, then I'm here to help you. I'm here to give you something to help build your craft. Please do not take it as taking it for granted, but be professional at it at all times. As we used that verbiage earlier, you never know who's watching you, and it may not be a fellow official. It could be a spectator sitting in the background. They'll write a little letter and send an email to somebody, and now you're exposed. So think about how you conduct yourself at all times. Dollars, again, and I'm pushing this big. If you're interested in working on your craft, don't think of it only as I need to get 3 games in. How about working smarter at 3 people working 3 games and working on your 3-person craft? If it's not, you don't want to do that, that's fine as well. I'm pushing that because I'm trying to get everybody with that mindset that they can officiate a 3-person game, and we want to give them more opportunities to do it. Doesn't mean that it always will be, but I just want everybody to know if that's something of interest. I was trying to get Zach, because Zach has done that a few times. Londell and Sean Holder has done it with DeRay. They would go to Orchard Beach. They would do 3 games, 3 high school games, and they all get paid for 2 games, but they all were working on craft. And just to say, all 3 of them are all college officials now. So they went to a camp and they wasn't lost at learning where to go and where to be and who's primary and whose PCA should be and whatever. Those are things that we have to worry about now, because we want to make our presentation going forward for the upcoming season even if you are a college official now, you want to be able to have that comfort zone when you take the court. So before we close up, I thank everyone for jumping on for our first hello, for my first hello under a new position. I take it very serious. I'm going to continue to be who I am. I'm here to help the whole community of basketball as officials, but I'm also expecting the same thing that I give to you for you to give back to me, and not just to me, but to the organization. If I have venues that I can help you to get better at your craft, please just think of yourself as who you're representing, because you are a business. And if you handle your business in the right way, you will gain more opportunities to build in your business. So those are things that you have to have conscious of for yourself. With that being said, my engineer is always behind the scene. Come on and say hello, brother. Say hello and welcome.
Bernard, I just want to tell you that. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Bernard, I just want to say that you struck gold in this whole format of going back and forth. For one thing, I'm appreciative of this man. Londell, I still owe you a phone call. Congratulations on getting to the level. Even Bernard is having a difficult time getting me on the phone. I've been that busy, so I apologize for not getting back to you. But just the fact that I've come along the ride. I'm in Board 42 now, so you guys are my brother in stripes in my new home. Bernard has made me feel comfortable in this board, just in this Zoom call alone. And just the fact that I got the chance to know some of the new members. I know in the beginning when I first started, it just was so difficult to speak to the powers that be, that you feel so far away from that. This right here is such a great forum that everything is so organic and everyone's having the ability to communicate with the powers that be. And he just said it himself, don't get intimidated by those people. You shouldn't be. Everyone's a person. Everyone started somewhere, somehow in refereeing. And, you know, more importantly, Bernard, I wanted to tell you, you inspired me to, you know, get back on the horse and start reffing. I'll tell you, during the pandemic, I was really immersed in the art of this. And that's how we started collaborating, doing the Zoom calls for over a year plus, and then ultimately making the Board 42 website. But, you know, once I got a taste of what it was like to get back on the court, it made me, you know, first get those cobwebs out for sure. And then I started saying like, no, I want to be elite at this. You know, maybe not the NBA, maybe I'm not reffing out of space, but I want to be the best referee I could possibly be for my fellow officials that are also on the court with me, to be proud that, you know, whether the R, the U1 or the U2. But so I wanted to thank you, Bernard, of sparking the fire. I didn't even tell you this, that you sparked the fire in me to get back on the horse and start reffing seriously. So, you know, I've been doing that. I've been working out, eating right. So thanks, Bernard. But, you know, I'm really excited for this whole journey. I think this is awesome that we can all connect, whether it's past members that have, you know, gone to the college level, to the highest ranks, the fact that they can say thank you to Bernard and imbue that wisdom and gems, and the fact that all these new guys can see the standard of excellence that you can become, the best official that you can be if you put the work in. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you, Bernard.
Thank you, Ralph. I appreciate you as always. Everyone, I'm over a few minutes, so I will owe you that one day. I don't know when, but I'm going to say thank you. And we will be going to the website, and for Board 42 members and everybody else that's on, you're welcome to go look at the website. As you know, you can, www.board42.com. We're just getting it on. Ralph, thank you for all the work you put behind the scenes. Mike and Victor not here right now, but we thank them for what they have input as well. And we're looking forward to having feedback from other officials in the board so they can share their experience and knowledge. And maybe next week, the week after, we'll have some of the other young ladies speak from the board of some of their experiences or some of the likes or dislikes, but we all grow to become better at what are the things that we're achieving or going through at this time. So with that being said, I'm going to say thank you and good night.
Thank you, Mr.
Thanks, Bernard.
Thank you.
And just remember, all the time is on simplify, it's not complicated.
Huh?
They want simplifiers, not complicators in regards to
true.
assignments.
Amen.
Always remember that.
Amen.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right.
Good night. Good night.